This is the recording of our test review. Okay, we do have a test tomorrow. So I want to make sure we're ready for it. I am going to go through and read the answers, and then I'll do problems that students have selected that they are having trouble with. Okay, number 1 is x plus 4, y minus 9. I moved 4 units to the right, y 9 units down. Okay, you need to have it written like this. This is going to be a multiple choice problem, so you'll have to pick, and it is going to be in this kind of format, not right 4 down 9. Okay, it's going to look like this: x plus 4, y minus 9. Okay, number 2, we're reflecting over x equals 1. A prime then becomes 3, negative 2. B prime is negative 2, negative 1, or image. Image C is 0, 1. Number 3, we're reflecting across the y-axis, and we get 2, 4 as our answer. Negative 2, 4 becomes 2, 4. Number 4 has 2 steps. We're going to do a translation, a reflection, and then a translation. Okay? So first we reflect, then we translate. That's what a glide reflection means. A translation, then a reflection. Or, in this case, a reflection and then a translation. Okay, so we go to, from 2, 3, negative 4, 6, 0, negative 2, to 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 6, 0, 2. And then we need to translate it 2 units down, so it becomes 2, negative 5, negative 4, negative 8, and 0, 0. Okay, any problems on this page that you would like me to do? Yes, Layla.
Quick question on number 4.
Yes.
Do you times them or do you add them?
Okay, when we're doing this, reflections and rotations, you kind of have a formula which I'll put up on the board for the test, okay? Translations, can somebody answer that question? Translations, am I adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing? What am I doing? You're adding and subtracting. Okay, since it's negative, that's why I subtract. What about for dilations?
You times.
Dilation is all about multiplication. Okay? Or however we spell it. Any other questions on the first page before we turn to the next one? Yes, Layla.
No, I was about to say, do you want
Okay.
us, for the first one, do you want us to do like counterclockwise, like some?
First one you can't do counterclockwise because it's not a rotation, it is a translation.
Okay.
Yes, Anna.
My bad.
Okay, so for the A primes and the A double primes,
Yeah.
I came up with negative 2, 3.
So when we reflect over y equals 0, that confuses a lot of people. So y equals 0 means the x-axis. And when we move something over the x-axis, the y changes, but the x doesn't. So, and that just means the sign changes. So I went from 2, 3 to 2, negative 3. And then when I'm sliding 2 down, it's just again changing that y. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. No more. Okay, next page. All right. Now remember, this is going to be multiple choice, and this is going to look a little bit different for number 5. Number 5 will say something like, which one moves 3, we'll say like x minus 3, y minus 3, right? And you have to pick it. Which one moves down 3 to the left or whatever. In this case, all I wanted you guys to see was the vectors, what was happening with each of these, okay? Like they're moving to the right, left, up, or down. Number 6 is a 90-degree rotation counterclockwise. If you put 270, you need to just say clockwise. Okay? Number 7 is a 180-degree rotation about the origin. Remember, origin means 0, 0. Okay? If we're going from here to here, that's 180 degrees. Questions on the second page? Yes, Jonas.
So for number 7, did you say y equals negative x?
Yeah, but remember, this is going to be a multiple choice question. So you're going to look for that 180-degree rotation, right? And again, those will be on the board, what those mean. And so if you're like, okay, I don't remember it'll be there. Yep. Yes.
Okay, so is it fine if I just say a rotation of 180 degrees counterclockwise? Or just put
Yeah.
negative X and
Yep. And remember, clockwise or counterclockwise doesn't matter for 180. All the rest it does, but for 180 it doesn't. Well, 360 it doesn't either. Any other questions on the second page? Okay, let's move to the third. Okay. The important thing about number 8, okay, we need to find this second reflection. Now you literally can first reflect over x equals 3. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. There's B. There's my new B. A is 8 away. There's my new A. So here's my first reflection. Where am I going to go that it's translated 4 units away? I know I'm going to reflect it again. So when you want to think about 8 units away, you can think about this 2 ways. So I think I've heard Mr. B explain it this way, where we know that if the translation is 8, I know the distance has to be half of that. So we literally just count over 4. Okay, and that's how we get that 7. And then if you look, we translate this, we reflect it, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be translated 8 units to the right. If you count from here to here or here to here, it's 8 units to the right. I like to think of it as a formula. So I do 2 times the absolute value of the second line of translation minus the first line of translation equals excuse me, let me say that again. 2 times the second line of reflection minus the first line of reflection equals the translation. And then I just fill it in. 2 times x minus 3 equals 8. And then I solve, getting x minus 3 equals 4, x equals 7. Okay? The important thing, this you need to put at the bottom because it does say write the composite. We moved everything over 8 units. This is what we're looking for. You're going to miss a point if you don't have this down. It says it right here in the directions, but a lot of you didn't write that. Okay. Number 9. We took the first and reflected it over the line x equals 0, which is the y-axis. Then we took that and reflected it over y equals 0. Okay? These formulas will be on the board, what you need to reflect. So your first one is -3, -2, -1, -6, and -6, -10. Your second one, which is x comma -y, is -3, 2, -1, 6, and -6, 10. And it's very important that we know that this is a rotation of 180 degrees, so that's -x, -y. Okay, questions about this page? You have 2. You looking at me? 2 per page. Yes, Layla.
So how did you get the rotation of 180?
So I looked right here. See how this is 3, -2?
Yes.
Okay, so I said 3, -2, and I thought of that as x comma y, right? And I want to get all the way down to the bottom, which is -3, 2. So I changed the sign to the first one. I changed the sign to the second one. That's my formula right there. I'll look it up on the board. That says 180 degrees.
Oh, no. I mean, like, when you did the shape, because I was a little
Oh,
confused.
well, these formulas you have way back when we did those rotation things on the calculator. But they will also be on the board. It'll say, like, if you reflect over the y-axis, it's -xy. And if you reflect over the x-axis, it's x -y. Okay, Anna?
Does x equal 0, does that mean the y-axis?
X equals 0 means the y-axis. Y equals 0 means the x-axis. And I can put that on the board, too, for tomorrow. I have no problem with that. Okay. Any other questions? Layla, you have one more for this page if you need it.
I mean, for the shape, because, I I'm doing the thing like, so are you just combining like the bottom half as like 90 degrees and when you
No,
rotate?
I'm reflecting over the y-axis. I reflect it over the x-axis. And then if I want to go from green to pink, that's a 180-degree rotation.
Oh.
Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You ready for the next one? Next page? This page I personally felt like was the most confusing. Some of you feel like some of the other ones are, but I felt like this one. Are we okay before I move on? All right. Number 10 and 11. We've done these about 500,000 times, but let's just make sure we're getting the right answer. We're going to reflect over line 1, then line 2. So we reflected over line 1. The distance between, let's make sure we have a nice perpendicular line right here. Just because I feel like it's easier if we do. If we reflect A over line 1, we're going to make the distance between A and line 1 x. So line 1 to A prime is x. We're going to make A to line 2 y. We're going to reflect this whole thing over line 2, and that's x plus y. So line 1 to line 2 is x plus y. A to A double prime is 2x plus 2y. So what happened here? We had a translation, correct? Don't forget that if we just skipped and went from the beginning to the very end, that's a translation. Number 11. We're going to first take A and reflect it over line 1. So A to line 1 is x. X to A prime is x degrees. Then we're going to take A prime and reflect it over line 2. A prime to line 2 is y degrees. So we reflect it. So it's y degrees between line 2 and A double prime. The distance between line 1 and 2 is x plus y. The distance between A and A double prime is 2x plus 2y. And this would be a what? It wouldn't be a translation from here to here. It would be a what? What's happening? Rotation. That's what I want you guys to get. Okay, you ready for 12? Any questions on this page before I move on? Sorry. No questions? We feel good about this. Was the closest quiz we had, so hopefully you guys feel pretty good about this now. We've had writing about it, everything. Yes. You confused about a piece of it? Okay. Now, remember, the last problem in your quiz will be one of these where you'll have to write your explanation. You won't have to do it again if you don't want. You'll have both of these. And then random, like, quiz, test A, you'll have to write about number 10. Test B, you'll have to write about number 11. And we've practiced both of those in class, right? Okay. All right. Number 12 is dilations. So if you didn't think this page was the hardest, right here, a lot of you felt this page was the hardest. Okay, so let's look. First, I'm going to measure between A and D, between A and C, and between A and B. Then I'm going to times each of those by 1.5. So now, between A and B should be 4.95. Between A and my new C, or C prime, should be 3.3 centimeters. And my A between A and D prime should now be 6.15. And we could always double check by measuring one side of this triangle to one side of the original, and it should be 1.5 times as big. Jonas.
Yeah, so on our test,
Mhm.
we have to draw that.
Yes. Layla.
For the answers for these,
Yeah.
since people have like different rulers,
Everybody should have the same answer because all rulers, all centimeters should be the same.
okay.
So it's not like when we drew it off the board. This is on your paper. It should all be the same. Okay? All right. Number 13 should be a rotation of about 90 degrees. That's about the center. Okay? Again, kind of found about 90 degrees clockwise, counterclockwise. Will, I'm not sure why you're up, honey, but you need to go sit down right now. Yeah, go. All right. So, number 14. Will, you can't leave until I'm done. Will, William, you can't leave until I'm done. You can't go until I'm done. You can't go until I'm done. Okay, one more. I'm going to go over 14 and then I'm going to answer questions. Okay, 14, we did a negative dilation of 1/2. Then a reflection. Ooh, I'm not sure why. Okay, so a negative dilation, then a reflection, then a rotation of 150 degrees.
Yeah, 'cause it's like,
Yeah, that's
it
complicated.
doesn't reflect, it like just rotates. Right?
Yeah, I think if we move our center of dilation down more, there's less to do, but that's fine. So remember, with problems like 14, there's a couple different ways to do it, but this would be fine. This is a hard one. If this is too hard, don't do this one last. I don't even know if this is on the quiz, actually, the test. Okay? I think you're just going to have like 13 and 12. Anna.
So, for the rotation.
Yeah.
Like on here, I like drew like the angle, and I got 37 degrees. How'd you do?
Okay, so I find that with these rotations, you know what works best for me? Patty paper. Okay, so I pull out the patty paper. I trace the triangle, the original triangle. I like to actually label it just so I kind of have an idea. And then it's all about picking a spot and seeing where will work to rotate it. Okay, so if you're looking, I'm going to zoom this out a little bit so you can kind of see. Okay, so if I put my point right about here and I rotate it, now watch my paper. So see how this is flat here? Now I'm putting it here. Do you see how now my point is straight up and down? Do you guys see how that's 90 degrees now? I feel like it's much easier to see with the patty paper. Yeah? You guys agree? Okay, so see how these are parallel, like, to each other. See how my patty paper and my paper are parallel? The endpoints are parallel to each other? This is parallel to this. Okay, I put my pen right here with the center, and now watch, I'm going to spin so because I want the blue triangle to be over the other triangle, right? So see how it's over the other triangle? Notice that this point right here is now right here. So this is now 90 degrees. I moved it 90 degrees. Right? This would be 180. Would be here. But this is 90 degrees. So here's my original again. 90 degrees. And we're just looking for an estimate. Okay, and I believe the one on your test is easier than this. It's not a rotation. Okay.
You have to write the
You want to give me an attempt? Like you'll get 1 point for if you wrote rotation, reflection, dilation, or translation correct, and 1 point for like the degrees or the line of reflection or how much it translated by or the scale factor for the dilation. Okay. All right. I'm going to zoom in again. All right. Any other questions about this page? Do you guys want me to do the dilation? You want to see it done? Are you sure? Number 12. I could actually do this out one more time. For real? You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions that you can think of about this? Remember, tests are worth how much? So if you're nervous, you should be coming to where? Tutoring when? Okay. All right. I'm going to put the writing back up so those of you who missed it can see it. And I am going to post this on the website so you can watch it again tonight if you're